Hi, I wanted to give you some information and a little background about light language. Light language is something that many people haven't heard about. It feels like a unusual, kind of out there kind of thing. And so I wanted to give a little bit of background for you about that. Light language is actually something that has been around for human history in many ways. Um, the There's been some anthropological and sociological research that shows that something like this, in speaking in languages and sounds that are not one's own, with transmitting beautiful vibrations of healing, of illumination, of lifting people's spirits, of bringing transformation in many levels, and it's not just physical but as well as emotional, spiritual, mental, and social healing and transformation, that has been happening throughout the world for human history. It's part of what we are able to access as spiritual beings. So there has been documentation about light language in Africa, in many shamanic societies throughout the world, Central America, South America, uh, certainly Middle East, even in Kabbalah, Judaism, and then in Europe, certainly in the Middle Ages, and throughout time. So around the world in many places and throughout time. Sometimes it's been called glossolalia or speaking in tongues, but it's all the same thing. Basically, it's beautiful transmissions of sound that come in the form of language that is not your own language, that's related to things like toning and sound healing. So it's part of that whole vibrational healing that can come through us. And this transmission comes from source. Some people call it angelic language or language that is from heaven. I've been told to say source, that when it opens in me, that's the name that resonates, because it is all from the divine source and it's for all of us. So I understand it in terms of vibration, that everything is made of energy, as we know now from quantum physics, that there is vibration is part of all of life. Everything is energetic. Everything is vibrating. The chair I'm sitting on, that plant over there, the trees outside, the house, the computer, they're all vibrating at different frequencies. So it looks solid, but it's still moving and vibrating. So we know that now. Well, when you get into higher vibrations, there are things that we can experience that are energetic, that are beyond our five senses and beyond the comprehension of our mind. So our mind likes to put things into the boxes of what we can pick up with our five senses, what it can categorize, what we can understand. Light language is one of those things, just like subtle energy, when we feel energy in somebody's energy field, their aura. Light language is of that nature. So it's outside of the five dimensions, and yet we can experience it. We can feel its impact. We can feel its power, and it comes from beyond the limitation of the three-dimensional world. So it does come from source. So I actually realized that I was, as a child and teenager, was speaking light language, and had some discomfort around it because it wasn't a thing I could talk about. There was nobody who understood it. I didn't have any parameters for it, and the things that I had heard about it were from a kind of a fear-based, judgmental kind of religion that didn't fit for me, didn't fit. My experience was not of God as judging and rule-bound, and that's what I was hearing. So I kind of tucked it away for a long time, until it finally couldn't hide in me anymore, couldn't be repressed anymore. So I now bring light language into my private sessions. I use it in distance sessions as well. And I will be using light language in each of the classes. Uh, it's a way of clearing, it's a way of expanding, it's a way of opening us when we're stuck or restricted. It kind of melts away and transforms. It makes it easier for people to let go because it comes from a vibrational place that our mind can't block. And it's pure, loving, loving, loving source. So it flows through in ways that transform that we can't understand. We can't even comprehend it. I hear so many amazing stories about how people are impacted by it and how their lives are changed. Sometimes I record transmissions for people, individual light language sessions, or like I have an example, a sample of one on my website. And I've heard people tell stories about how listening to those have really transformed them and shifted their energies in many ways. So we'll be using that in the class as a way of anchoring the work that we're doing, but also helping you to shift and expand and to experience more deeply and profoundly. So that's a little bit of background, and hope that's helpful for you. Blessings to you, much light and love.